everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've all decided to join me today. Today we're going to delve into our third set of alternatives for the January 2026 paper pumpkin called Special Delivery. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done this kit as intended. But as you know, we change things up around here, so we're going to do an alternative or two today. So while I'm getting the stuff out for our first card, if I could ask you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really appreciate it if you would. I'm really trying to grow it, and I can't do that without you. So thank you very much to those of you who have already subscribed, and if you hadn't, join us. So we're going to start today with a card base of Misty Moonlight that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give this a good burnish just to make sure it lays down nice and flat. I've got a piece for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then we've got some stuff that was in the kit here. So I've got these blue flowers, this cluster of blue flowers here. We're going to use that. This is a circle cutout that was punch out, I guess, that was in the kit. Here's one of these postage die looking punch outs, and then I've got this, and these were both envelope pieces that I have cut down. So this one is 3 by, let's see, right now it's 3 by 5 1/4, but I see where like some of the piece of the envelope is still there, so I'm going to actually trim it off so that it's 3 by 5. Just so that we can get rid of that little glue part of the envelope that was on there. And then this one is kind of the same way. So this little pink piece is 2 1/2. And presently it's at 4. But I want to trim off just maybe like a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to trim that side off just to give this a more polished look. So now we're looking at it's 3 3/4. So, okay, just a little minor surgery there. We're going to start with our little blue piece here. And I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down here. Now, this is envelope paper, so you need to be careful about how much glue that you use because this paper will wrinkle if you get it too wet. So I'm going to put this to the left-hand side. I'm going to line this up on my glass mat so I can kind of see. I want about a 1/2 inch border on the left-hand side. So we'll kind of just position this. Looking for same margin top and bottom and a nice 1/2 inch on the left-hand side. Okay, so it looks pretty good. We're going to push that down. Now, our piece of pink envelope, same thing. Careful with the glue. I'm purposely trying to use up this bottle, but it won't come out as fast as a new bottle. So, we're going to just kind of put this one right here. Now, more toward the bottom of the card. Oops. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that pushed down. So there's our base layers. Now, we're going to take this piece and put it in the middle of our pink piece. And then this bottle has just about had it. It's okay, I got another one waiting in the wings, but it comes out so fast when it's a new bottle. I was afraid to use it on these envelope pieces of paper. Alright, so we'll get that pushed down there and straightened up because it's a little crooked. Okay, so we've got that. Now, we're going to take and just get a little bit of glue on the edge here because we didn't get enough in the corner to get the corner to stick. There we go. Alright. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take our little blue flowers here and kind of position those right there in the middle. And then we're going to take our little, now I've got a little tiny stamp here that says sending love, and I think that'll fit right in there. So we will, let's see, we're going to put this kind of right down here in the bottom corner. So let me see where I want to fidget our flowers. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping, and we'll get this down first, and then we'll position our flowers how we want them. So we're going to do stamping today in Misty Moonlight for this card. And like I said, in the stamp set that came in the kit, I'm going to use the Sending Love and You, what does this say? You Brighten My Day, I think it says. So let's ink this one up. Make sure we've got good coverage there. And we're just going to line this up so it's straight, hopefully. And see if I can get this right down in between those two faint pink lines. I don't know if you can catch that on camera, but I'll show you in just a second here. So let's let this, give this a second for the ink to transfer. There we go. So maybe you can see a little better now. So there was just a tiny little pink faint lines in there. So we'll put that down here on the front, and we'll get this on the inside. So I'm going to line this up so we start straight. And we'll get this down. We'll give that a second. And You Brighten My Day. Okay, so let's put our ink away. And let's finish up here. So let's move this. And we'll go ahead and get... Actually, I think I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And that way, let's see. I'm going to kind of keep the dimensionals toward the bottom so that I will be able to tuck that piece of flower under this if we so need to. So I'm just going to put that right there in the corner. And then we'll go back here. There. See, we can just tuck that right under there. So that'll work out perfectly. Okay. Let's see if there's enough glue left in this to do this with. Oh yeah, we got plenty. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of slide this right under. Oh, we got a petal that doesn't want to behave. There we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. That looks good. I'm just going to spread those out just a little bit. I think we've got a petal here that needs, this tiny little petal needs just a drop of glue so that it will lay down. There we go. Okay, perfect. Alright, so that looks good. Let's get this on the inside, and then we'll get some bling on this, and this one will be done. Make sure I get the corners. Okay, I think that one's had it. That's okay. Just need to get the corners. Alright, get this down in here. Centered up. Alright, let's see what we've got for bling here. I've got, let's see, I laid some, okay, we've still got these pink sequins that we're trying to use up. I have a ton of these and I really want to get rid of them. So, we're going to use these white kind of opaque looking ones here. Let's see where we want to go. Let's do one here. And we'll do one here. And another little one up here. If we can get it turned right side up. There we go. Just like that. And they're simple but yet very pretty card. Okay, let's move on to our second one. So this one is going to be garden green in nature. So let's put our stamps over here, and I've got green ink, garden green ink that we're going to use. So we're going to start with a card base of garden green. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We'll give this a good burnish. Our piece for the inside is 4 by 5 1/4. And this was a card topper that was in the kit, and we're just going to put that right there. Let's see. Oops. So let's make sure we get our corners. That is like my one thing, is I always forget to make sure the corners are good, and then they end up lifting up, and that's not good. So we're going to just center this up on our card base, just like that. Okay, and then we've got this piece. This was a punch-out piece that was in the kit. So this is going to go down as our next layer. Okay, that's my empty bottle. Let me just put a lid on that and throw that away so I quit picking it up. Okay, so get some glue on this. We're just going to center this up. Fits perfectly right there in the middle of that layer. And make sure it's semi-straight. Okay. Next, we've got this little piece we're going to stamp on, and then we've got our little flower here. So we've got our greenery, and then we'll put our pink flower down in the middle of that. So let's just put a dot of glue on our leaves here. Don't need a lot. You just get these two little ones up here. There we go. Okay. So this is going to go, if I can hold it, just kind of like this. And push all the leaves down. Okay, perfect. And then this is going to go in the middle, but we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals so that it can have just a little bit of lift in the middle of the card, which will just give it some interest. Okay, one right in the middle. Get the backs off. That one's gone already. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oops. One more. Maybe. Although it doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay. Oh, this one too. Okay, now we're going to put this, let's see, I think this is up. So we're just going to drop that right down in there, press that down. Okay, let's do our stamping. So I've got this tiny little circle here that I believe I cut from the Stylish Shape dies. So I need a stamp that's pretty tiny to go inside that. So we're going to stamp in Garden Green. And I've got this from an old Paper Pumpkin stamp set. This says Miss You. And that's one good thing about the Paper Pumpkin kits. A lot of times the stamps are smaller in size. And so when you just need something tiny, they are a great resource to have. So I'm just going to put that in the middle of our little white circle here. Just like that. I'm going to put that up there. And then on the inside, I've got another one from, this actually came from a nut. Is it this Paper Pumpkin? Let me see. Can't remember. Yeah, it says it says You're My Favorite. So not from this one. This is also from an old set. I couldn't remember. So it says You're My Favorite. So let's line this up. And we'll get this down. There we go. All right, put the ink away. Let's get this finished. All right, let's get this on the inside. And then, there we go. And that's crooked. Let me scoot that over just a little bit if I can. There we go. All right, looks much better. Okay, back on the outside. I want to put it right there. We're going to put this on a dimensional as well, or two, because why not? And then we'll get some bling on this and we will be good to go. So I'm just going to put that right there in the bottom corner. And let's see, dimensionals, or not dimensionals, bling, 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 bling is next. So I'm going to go right back to our handy dandy pink sequins here. And I think we can use these more pink ones. Maybe the darker pink ones. I don't know. These are like 3 different shades of pink. So let's see. We'll go there. And take a little one here. And one more little one. No, let's put it right here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So here are the 2 cards that we made for today. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back with another round of Paper Pumpkin tomorrow. So I will see you all then. Have a crafty day. Bye.